Hey everyone, are you ready to finish section 4? Hi everyone, Cristin Som here, and we are continuing with our Ginger's Kitchen bench pillow. So we have all sections 1, 2, and 3, and I'm thinking that we finish up section 4 today. So we also have the pinwheel, which we'll use the extra pinwheel. This is for section 5, but we have that super cute Baking Spirit Sprite that we did yesterday, and our stocking. Did you see one of the gals in our group? She put a name. One did Minky, like I had suggested. I thought that was so cute. Dory did that. And then another gal did a name on the cuff of the stocking. How cute. So these are done and ready for section 4. And we'll also need that small pinwheel. And then we're going to go ahead and finish section 4 today. So let me put these aside so I don't lose any of my parts here. All right, so we are going to work on Gingerbread House C. That is on page 9 of our book. So there's somebody parked in front of my house, and thankfully Archer hasn't figured it out yet. But in a moment he might, and then there will be barking involved. So if you have packets, grab your packet for Gingerbread House C. It is on page 9 of our PDF, all right? So this looks like a pretty simple one, actually. It looks like it's pretty big too. So our main fabric, look at this big piece of fabric. This is a big one, right? So it is the gray with white dots on it. Make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer so that you don't get any puckering on this big piece of fabric, all right? And the little girl, Lily, just figured out there's someone in front of her house, but Archer is still sleeping. Fingers crossed it stays that way. All right, so for our main fabric, this big piece of gray fabric with the white dots, we're going to have this be 8.5 by 10.5. 8.5 by 10.5. It's Amazon. Oh no, Archer's going to flip out. All right, 8.5 by 10.5 for your main fabric, all right? And then for the door, we have either the original fabric, which is what I'm going to use. It is the red with Christmas dots all over it. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's completely optional on your applique pieces. So this is the original one. You may have received the red with white dots from our sponsor. Either one of these will be great. And you want this to be 2.5 by 3.5. All right, 2.5 by 3.5 for the door. Okay. And then we have our glitter sheet. So on the glitter sheet, it's a pretty big piece. It's 5.5 by 7. So don't forget to take off that top coating, the plastic top coating for your applique glitter sheet. It's the white applique glitter. Make sure to take off that topping. I don't think we iron it down. I think it's like the other two where we left it a little bit puffy, but we'll see. All right, so this one, like I said, 5.5 by 7. All right, so it's going to be this way. Mine's very rolly. 5.5 by 7 for your applique glitter sheet. And then we have our felt. Isn't this great? Archer's being so good. I'm surprised. I think as soon as she closes her door or walks toward my door, we're going to have some craziness happen. All right, so the next one is our piece of felt. So for the felt, it's going to be 4.5 by 6. So our gingerbread house is like a cookie. It's going to be on this felt. 4.5 by 6. Make sure not to back your felt with anything. Leave it as is. 4.5 by 6. All right, and then we have our batting. Big piece of batting. So our batting is going to be 7 by 9 today. 7 by 9 for your batting. And then there it goes. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. The big mean Amazon delivery person just left. She's a wonderful person, but Archer thinks he has to protect us from her. So that's all good. Our protein shakes are sitting on the front doorstep. Everything's good. Sorry for the interruption. So we are going to quilt this one. So we have our batting, that's 7 by 9. We are going to quilt this with any quilting design that is a 6 by 8 quilting design. 6 by 8. All right, I'm using Christmas 2. I think that's the one with the gingerbread on it, if I recall. But again, any quilting design that you want that is 6 by 8. All right, and then that's for Gingerbread House C. I'm thinking that we can do 2 today. So, and that will help us to finish section 4. So the section 4, the other one that I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're going to be just so happy. Look at, is this like the easiest day? Do you think we can add this on? We can probably handle this, right? So it's one little border block. And originally, just like I mentioned on the other one, so I originally thought that we would quilt this with that little tiny pinwheel block. And so I told you to cut a piece of batting on the batting cut guide on the prep at 3x5, I think I said 3x5. So I was thinking we would quilt this together, but we went ahead and quilted this. So we're gonna have to just cut that batting in half. So disregard that. Sorry about that confusion there. I forgot that we would quilt it, the pinwheel block. I was thinking we'd sew it together and do it together because they are going to be sewn together, but we're going to quilt this one by itself. So on this, you can have it be 2.5 by 2.5 or 3x3. Like I said, we are going to sew it together with that other block, but we're going to quilt it first. So either way, whatever you feel comfortable with, either 2.5 by 2.5 or 3x3. You can see it is this red tufted fabric, and I did back mine with fusible stabilizer because I'm going to quilt it and I don't want it to pull in. I believe mine's 2.5 by 2.5, but you do want a piece of batting that is 3x3. This one's 3x5 because I was planning that pinwheel block with it, so I'm going to cut it down, but you want a piece of batting that is 3x3. All right, so one simple border block. I don't think I picked out a quilting design. I bet you I did. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. All right, so we're gonna quilt this one. You can use any quilting design that you want. That is a 2x2 quilting design. I have in my notes, I'm gonna use Christmas 1. I believe that's the one with the candy canes on it. So that will be cute. I'm gonna use that in a 2x2. So again, any quilting design that you want that is 2x2 for this one border block. And I'm gonna bring you over to the computer and show you how to join that gingerbread house C and the one little border block into one hooping so that we can finish up section 4. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now and I am going to quickly show you how to join the border block and the gingerbread house together in one hooping, and how to do a color sort with those two so that we can have the batting doing at the same time, the batting and the quilting and all that. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials, and the first thing I always do is check what hoop size I'm on. So let's go ahead and try 8x12. I'm on my 8x12. And let's see, we need a 6x8 quilting and a 2x2. So actually we can probably, this might be good. Let's go ahead and keep it with this. So 7x12 would work. 8x12 should work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and start by bringing in the first quilting design. So I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File. Let's use my phone. All right, so let's see. I want the quilting designs, and the one that I'm doing for the border block, that little border block, I'm doing Christmas 1 in a 2x2. So let me find Christmas 1 and embroidery files, Pez, block by block. Let's see. And I want a simple 2x2. Oh, this is the gingerbread one. I was thinking it was going to be the candy cane one. Section 4. Yep, they are. All right, so it's the gingerbread one. So 2x2, that's that cute gingerbread boy. You can use any quilting design that you want that is a 2x2. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to bring it up here to the top so that I have lots of room for that gingerbread house. All right, so we need to quickly change these colors as we always do. So I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected. Click on 1-1 and click on the color down here in the properties window, and then choose dark aqua as the first color that comes up for me. Whatever color works for you is fine. And then 1-2, click on the color. I want the first color that is blaze. 1-3, click on the color, second color down because we already used dark aqua. I'm going to use marine. 1-4, click on the color. I'm going to use the second color down, which is Oriole for me. 1-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the first color, which is Sprout, and that one is done. Click outside so that nothing is selected, and then we want to go to Merge Stitch File, and we want to bring in the quilting design for the gingerbread house. So that one is Christmas 2, so that must be the candy cane one. Let's see here. Close up Christmas 1, Christmas 2, embroidery files, block by block, Pez, and we want the 6x8 design. There it is, it's the candy cane. So I had them switched. All right, 6x8, Christmas 2, and again, you can use any quilting design that you want. All right, there's the 6x8 design. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to just bring it down to the bottom so that I have lots of room. All right, let's see. Oops, wrong button. There we go. All right, so I'm just bringing it down. Make sure that it's not over your hoop. By the way, I didn't mention at the beginning, if you're not on the hoop size you want, go to the Preferences folder, click on the hoop size that you want, say OK, and then go up to this compass button and click H for hoop. All right. Okay. So we have a little, there will be maybe just a little bit of overlap because we have a lot of fabric for that gingerbread house, but almost nothing for this one. So it's really not going to matter at all. So this will work great. So I want to go ahead and change these colors like we did for the other one. I want the same colors except for that last one. I'm going to change that to a different color. So I'm going to click on 2-1, click on the color in the properties window. I want dark aqua. You can always see up here the colors that you chose. And then 2-2, click on the color, I want blaze. 2-3, click on the color, I want marine. 2-4, click on the color, I want Oriole. And 2-5, click on the color. I used Sprout on the first one, so I'm going to use the second color down so that that does not join and say okay. So I used sea green. All right, click outside so nothing is selected. Now I want to do a color sort. Yeah, I want to do a color sort now so that I can have work all of the quilting part of it together at the same time. But I also want to be able to bring in that gingerbread house and have that line up the way that it should. So let's see, I'm going to bring that in and then I'm going to do a copy and paste like I did. I think I did it yesterday for you. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Merge Stitch File. And I'm going to close up my quilting files and I'm going to go to the embroidery files. Pez is what I use. And I want the gingerbread house C. So I'm just going to scroll down. There's A and there's C right there. So how cute. Look at that little peppermint up there. That's cute. Gingerbread house C. So double click on that. It'll go to the center. And I'm just going to click on that part of the design. Make sure that you have just the gingerbread house, not the quilting. And I'm just going to move it down haphazardly. All right. It doesn't matter. I just want it down enough so that it doesn't move all of the block too much. So I'm going to close up these files here. Click outside so nothing is selected. I'm going to click the second design, which is that quilting design. You can see it highlighted, the quilting design. I'm going to use my finger to click on the control button, hold down that control button on my keyboard, and click on the number 3 design. I want those to align and distribute so that they're lined up right. So I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute. And I'm going to say center, center. I have design number 2 and number 3 selected. Say apply and see the gingerbread house move down just a little bit. All right, so that is good. So that is lined up right. Now, if I look at number 3, see how there's all these cyan and oranges? If I were to do a color sort right now, it would join all of those and we would not get that stop. It would be like, put everything down now. So we definitely don't want to do a color sort right now with that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, New Page, and create another tab. And I'm going to click back on that first tab, and I'm going to click just on the gingerbread house. Now that it's lined up where I want it, I'm going to say Control C to copy it, bring it to the tab 2, click on tab 2 and say Control V like victory to paste it so that that stays there. It's in the place that it should be. And I'm going to go back to Untitled 1, the first tab, and I'm going to click Delete. Make sure that you've got the gingerbread house selected. Click Delete. All right. And so now I can do my color sort, and then I can bring that gingerbread house back over. So right now we have 10 color steps. I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort right there. And make sure that you have the same settings that I have. This tolerance is at 0. It's reduced it by 4 color changes. New View will open a third tab. All right, and I just want to quickly check those to make sure that it did what I think it should do. So there's the placement for our batting together, our tack down for our batting, our placement for our main fabric, our tack down for our main fabric, and then each of the quilting designs. So that's perfect. So now I want to go to Untitled 2, that one that we have the gingerbread house exactly where it should be. And I'm going to click on that, click on the stitching. say Control C to copy it, and I'm going to go to Untitled 3. That's the one that has everything together in one design. And I'm going to say Control V like victory to paste it, and see what it did. It brings it right back to that block exactly where it should be. All right, I'm going to click outside so you might be able to see it a little bit better. And so we have all of the quilting designs together in one design, and then we were going to do the gingerbread house after. So that was super duper easy. And I'm in my 8x12 hoop. This worked out really well. I think we got it all. I don't want to do a color short again with this gingerbread house. There isn't a purpose, so everything is just great. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, make sure it's as, and I'm going to say 8x12, that's my hoop size, and I'm going to say border 4, because it's section 4, and I'm going to say gingerbread house, just say ginger house C. All right, ginger house C. Save, because you don't want that to be too long. All right, and that is great. It's done. I'm going to say utility, send to Solaris, and I'm just sending it to my machine. If you have a machine that is not Wi-Fi ready, you would just send it to your USB stick, and you're ready to get started. All right, let's get started with playtime. shirt today is a simple tank top, but on the back it says don't give up, or never give up. I think that's what it says, never give up, with a breast cancer ribbon on it. Cute design. I don't remember off the top of my head. embroiderydesigns.com maybe, or Etsy. Either way, I will add information under this video. The t-shirt or the tank top, I think it came from Fred Meyer. I'm wearing it with a cute little skirt and sneakers. I'm gonna wear this to church tonight, but it's a pretty cute little ensemble. So anyway, I'll add information about the embroidery design underneath this video. And how are you doing with your goal? I love to hear about your goal. Oh my gosh, so many people are doing so many amazing things. Shannon has lost like 62 pounds. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. So I have to tell you, today's word is endurance, and it's a good one for today. So I went for a hike this morning, and it was a small hike, like 5.5 miles, I think it was. And the cool thing though, it was my last one. So I have been doing this challenge. So in addition to our regular, our group challenge that I've been doing, where I'm telling you different various things. So this, I've been doing an endurance challenge as well. And so the Boise Trails Challenge, I had never heard about it, and I came into it about 5 days late. I heard about it and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. I think I'll do that. So I've been hiking every single day pretty much. So I missed 1 day in June and 3 days in July, but the challenge ran from June 20th until July 20th. And the goal was to get out and hike as many different trails as you could. And as you complete them, like, you have this app running, and it navigates for you, thank God, because I get lost so bad. But it navigates for you, and then it checks it off as you complete these different routes. Well, some of them, Michael, I thought, I'm just going to get out and I'm going to see all these different places and cool. But then I was like, I'm doing pretty good with this. Maybe I could actually finish it. And I did not. I did not actually finish it. You have to do 180 miles. I think it's like 178 miles in 30 days. And most people are riding it. They're doing it on a mountain bike, but you can also hike it. It's totally up to you. You can do either or. And it's the same route, same trails, all the same information. So I thought, well, maybe I'll give it a try and do the mountain bike. Well, a lot of these trails, you're literally hanging off of a cliff. Like, I was holding onto a tree on one of these trails, just begging to not fall off of this cliff, because the little single track dirt trail was so narrow that I couldn't even fit 2 of my feet together. I had to have one firmly planted and to be able to move my next foot to the next step. And so meanwhile, I'm hanging onto this tree, and there's this cliff. You're on the side of a cliff. It was crazy. And that wasn't all of them. Some of them were great, but some of them were pretty scary. So that's when I decided, yeah, I'm super not doing this on my mountain bike. I am going to hike all of these and get to learn these trails and see which ones I would feel comfortable for next year, and doing it on a mountain bike. So every day I'm out doing all of these hikes in places I've never been before. And keep in mind, I've got this little pink Volkswagen Beetle, right? And a lot of these trails are up these dirt roads that are horrendous. My car is like, no, super not doing this. And so some of them I couldn't get to. There was no way I could not get to them. And when you're hiking them, it's different, because you this one, you hike out 2.5 miles. It's a connector to get to the trail. So you hike out 2.5 miles and you do the trail, and then you hike back another 2.5 miles. So you're talking 5 miles before you even get to the trail that you need to get credit for. So some of them were just really too much, right? So every day I did anywhere from 5 to 11 miles was pretty much my average, what I was doing. And one day I planned this beautiful 9-mile hike and was pretty excited about it. And I got there, and there's all this construction. And so they had deviated the route. You get up to where you think you're going to go, and it's like, oh, this trail is closed. You have to go this way. And it added another 6 miles. I was out there by myself. I'm doing all of these hills and trails by myself. I'm out there, and it was 15 miles, 14.89 miles with over 2,000 feet of climbing, and you're just out on this like mountain, and it was pretty intense. 15 miles, that's a lot for me. That was a lot. So anyway, so like I said, you have to complete, I think it was 178 miles, but it's specific miles. And keep in mind that if you're hiking them, you're going out and you're coming back. And so half of those miles are empty miles. You're only getting credit for that segment, but then you have to walk back to get to your car. So I ended up doing, I wrote this all down. I've got my little spreadsheet, and every day I was putting in my numbers. So let me first tell you, there were 990 participants, so almost 1,000 participants that joined this. Kudos to them, right? I think there were less than 300 finishers that actually finished it, and I did not finish it, remember. I finished, instead of the 178 miles that we were supposed to get, I finished with 193.97 miles. So basically 194 miles. So more miles than was needed, but a lot of those were empty miles getting back to my car and getting lost. I did really good at getting lost. Crazy. So 194 miles with 27,601 feet of climbing. Is that crazy? I mean, just crazy. And keep in mind, you have to do it within 30 days. So that I took 1 day off in June. I took 3 days off in July for medical appointments and things. So basically divide that by 26, and I was doing 7.5 miles every single day with over 1,000 feet of climbing. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I did not finish. I did not get an official finish or whatever, but I did really good, and I learned all these new trails and grasshoppers jumping all over me. And some of them were, oh my gosh, this one, there were literally people falling down the mountain. It was so steep, crazy. And some of them were beautiful day. Every day here has been a little over 100 degrees every day, and you know, I don't sleep like most people, and so I start pretty late. I start like at the hottest point of the day, and so some of them were really intensely hot, but then the further you're going up into the mountains, it wasn't that bad. Like one of the trails, in fact, it was the 15-mile one that I didn't plan on 15 miles. I got rained on over and over, like 7 different times during this hike. I got rained on. The weather was just crazy, but then it was a really pretty hike. There were really pretty flowers. There weren't grasshoppers jumping on me. I don't know why the higher elevation, the grasshoppers weren't there. That was kind of nice. I enjoyed that. But anyway, so 990 participants. Only 125 of my miles went toward the challenge. Of my 194, 125 miles counted toward the challenge. So I actually only finished like 70.39% of the challenge. But I'm really happy with that. I'm good with it. I know, I did really good. I'm happy with that. That's all good. So overall, my rank out of the 990 people was number 352. I thought that was pretty good. Of the women, my rank was 61, and of the women hiking, because I actually signed up as a mountain biker, but I ended up hiking all of them. So out of the hiking women, my rank was 39 out of all these people. So it was a fun challenge. It definitely challenged me. I mean, there were days I'm like, why am I doing this? It's crazy hot outside. I'm a cyclist. I like cycling. I come home, I'll show you pictures. Oh my gosh, my legs, my ankles especially, just so dirty because you put sunscreen on, right? And then all of the dirt just sticks onto you every day. I was so dirty. So I'm really excited that the challenge is over. Today was the last hike. I got all clean, and I'm like, oh, that feels good. So today the word is endurance. So that is definitely, endurance is such a good thing. And it's something that is easier to build than you think. So when you're out, when you start a new exercise program, you're like, I'm dying. I can't do this. This is so hard. I'm not strong enough, blah, blah, blah. And you just keep with it, and endurance builds pretty quickly, surprisingly quickly. And so I stuck with it. I'm proud of myself for sticking with it. So I want to hear about your goal. Do you have any endurance goals that you've worked on? I'd like to hear that too. So this was a fun challenge. Definitely now I get back to the regular challenge, but today, endurance.